Oh my God. Is that a blue tiger stripe gun?
Yeah, blue tiger stripe. All you gotta do is get 25 headshots. You'll get there one day.
No, that's really cool. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day you
Headshot! I just got blue tiger stripe, dude. Check it out.
I'm out! Buy glass mag, make it count! Now, welcome to Grand Thumb. Now, before we get into it, we of course have to thank the biggest sponsor of the channel, who is Primary Arms. If you're looking to buy awesome optics or one of the best pistol optics on the market, the HTX-1, go and check them out. We can't thank them enough. And of course, a big thank you to Henry Repeating Rifles. Over 200 different models for whatever you may need, whether you be a homesteader or whether you be just into lever actions in general. A big thank you to Henry Firearms. Made in America, not made at all. Go check out henrythumb.com for some very exciting opportunities that we can't even talk about on YouTube. So go and check them out. Of course, you want to get better at shooting, we recommend dry fire. Mantis will turn your weapon into a dry fire machine. Go and check them out. All ammunition is provided for by AAC Ammunition. With all that being said, let's talk about it. So before we get into the autistic detail, we're going to get on the range with a younger, more handsome version of myself as we shoot the JAKL and as we check to see how good it really is. The JAKL in 308. How does it perform? How is a inexpensive, long stroke, gas-operated weapon? Well, today we're going to find it out. We have over 2,000 rounds on this particular rifle as we delve into the JAKL 308 to make sure that you guys are using your hard-earned meat bucks in smart ways, like buying Counter-Strike skins. Now, typically we wouldn't do this, but I think everybody's dying to know what is the accuracy of the JAKL 308. So we'll be using AAC Serial Match King 168 SMKs. That's what you want to use. So we're doing a 5-round group. I'll do one, John will do one, and we'll see kind of what the average is. We've grouped this already, but you know, it'll be interesting to see two different shooters and what we can both pull off. So we have a target at 100. Let's go ahead and get it done.
Go for the second from the bottom.
just high.
I did not pull that one either.
That was a bad group in the JAKL, but found camera, it stands. All shots felt good.
Out of ammo, but as you can see here, there's a handy dandy Onward Research heavy placard.
Wow. I'm gonna print one more group here because it's just not performing like what it was. So we're gonna give it another shot.
On glass.
You know what? That's just what it's doing, man.
It's consistently stringing.
Yeah, it's just, you got kind of a left-right group. All right, let's go ahead and talk about that. Let's go downrange. All right, so here are my groups right here if you guys want to come right up. This is my last group, probably the best group that we had. This was my group right before that. Here is John's group, it's a little bit lower. I zeroed the gun for myself, so for John, it just wasn't quite working for his eyes. John, how'd the gun feel as far as shooting goes?
I mean, it feels great. It's just every now and then it wants to Wants to go over here for a little bit, then it comes back.
So this is pretty classic if you come up right here. So we have 3 right, 2 left. That's considered like a left-right. So when you have rounds feeding in from a magazine, they're going to feed their double feed mechanism. So it's going to come from either the left or the right. This, as it's loading into the feed ramp, can score the projectile itself, which can affect accuracy. This looks like to be the case of this. Now, we have to understand that the JAKL 308 isn't precisely a DMR. It's not a sniper rifle. It is a battle rifle. It's also $1,500. So when we think about comparisons, we're comparing this to something like the Arrow M5, the CMMG Descent. So I'm kind of going to be mostly compared to those. Some people would say that its main competitor is a Scar H. I highly disagree with that. The Scar H is a very proven, very accurate battle rifle. That being said, we got 1.9 MOA right here. We got 2.2 right here and 2.1 right here as far as our groups. This matches up with what we've been getting. 2 MOA nowadays kind of looks a little crazy. It's not that crazy. M4s in the military are considered passing up through 3 to 4 MOA. So 2 MOA is not great out of a $1,500 rifle, especially when you consider you can get like a Geise Super Duty full 5.56 gun that can print significantly smaller. We are firing 308. We're firing very good ammo, but consistently we're seeing about 2 to 3 MOA, whether it be gold medal match or what have you. So this is pretty much what we're expecting to see. How would you classify this accuracy, John?
I mean, it's combat accurate.
It's combat accurate. You're not getting a precision weapon, but you are 100% getting a battle rifle. So now that we've seen these groupings, let's get a few different drills complete and let's get back into talking. So we've done the accuracy testing. Now we're going to be doing the shooting drills because we do have a battle rifle right here. What is a battle rifle? Battle rifle is a rifle in a full powered cartridge such as 308, 30-06 or something have you. And it is used in an assaulter's role. So let's go ahead. Let's see how the JAKL 308 performs in its duties as a battle rifle. John's going to explain the build drill now.
All right, yeah, it's 6 bullets trying to put them where you want them to go as fast as you can.
A-zone, 6 rounds, 7 yards. To be clear, we are doing this with a 308 battle rifle, which was pretty neato. Let's see how fast we can run this little guy.
All right, shoot ready, stand by. One just outside and the 133.
Nice, 133, a little walked out on me a little bit, got 1C, but I'll take that at a 133, 0.10 penalties for 143.
Sure.
Okay, nice, not bad. John, you're up. Same paper. Should you understand the course flyer?
We'll find out.
Stand by. 129, clean. Yep, very good. Yep, John, good to go. Fast with me too.
Barrel up.
1.5 split. That's fast for 308. Okay, let's do 2 and 2 on 2 paper targets.
You might need a new mag.
Here you go. Well, it's okay, John. I actually have the Onward Research Heavy placard.
Oh, nice.
That lets me just change them out. It works on the SIG Spear, works on FAL, JAKL 308 SR25 pattern mags, tourniquets on the bottom, grenades.
Wow, that's convenient. Can you put a JAKL in there?
Gonna put you in there. Okay, so we're gonna do transition between 2 targets, see how easy it is to drive the rifle. It is fairly lightweight for a battle rifle, but not the best.
All right, shoot ready.
Yeah.
Stand by. 198.
0.98, 4 rounds, 2 targets. Okay, clean. John, you're up, buddy.
Yield this.
Yeah.
Were you already on the target? Safety on?
Yep, we're safe. Safety op on target, just our normal deal. Understand the course fire?
Yep. Stand by.
First one threw it way low. It's all good. 0.98 is your second one that you threw as low, right?
No, it's the first one. Well, second target, first round.
Yeah,
I overdrove and then I corrected.
It's all good. 0.98 fast. That's 4 rounds of 308 and under a second. I'd say they're dead. One thing that we have to talk about is the JAKL is a very smooth rifle. So firing it fast, because you can adjust the gas, because every 308 and 7.62 round is going to be a little bit different, you can really get that recoil pretty well down. Now we have under gas set at times, like when we had this gas for a suppressor, it wouldn't run without the suppressor on there. That's good. I do love an adjustable gas system. Theirs does work very well. And with where we have it adjusted, it does feel, I hate to say it, but it feels Scar-like. It feels good. It feels good. The rifle feels more flimsy than a Scar, but the recoil feels about the same. So we're gonna do a couple drills just doing 3s. So up and 3, just to show you recoil control. John, you're gonna start?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Stand by. 1 second. Stand by. 0.98.
All right, shoot ready. Stand by. 0.96. Stand by. 196 again.
Nice. If nothing, I'm consistent. Those were all A's. Taking a look here. Me and John were about the same, about a second for 3 rounds on the up. That's a quick rifle. That's a quick rifle, and that's a smooth rifle. So we've done that. Let's go ahead. Let's check the practical accuracy in a combat-like scenario, firing at about 300 with the red dot. Quick Mozambique, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head.
Shoot ready. Stand by. 111.
Cool. Dead. Very dead. We're at 775 yards. We're going to be shooting the Jackal 308, firing 168 grain Sarah Match King. Let's see how she does for a 308 with a 14.5 barrel. Kind of at the, not the effective edge, but we're losing a lot of velocity. So let's see how she does. So, not too bad at all. The Jackal 3.8 performed pretty well. We know from our earlier testing it's not the most accurate rifle. It is a battle rifle, but as you can see, it's more than capable of making the shots out to what the 308 should be capable of, which is about 1,000, which with a longer barrel, a little bit less. This is absolutely perfect. I don't think it'd be a stretch at all to push this thing to about 900. The nice thing about getting close to 3,000 rounds is we're a significant portion into the barrel life of a 308 barrel. So, you know, the 308 anywhere from 10K to 15K, getting to 3K, we should start seeing some wear, which is nice. So when we're looking on the inside of the gun, I'm looking for anything that's shiny, gouged, anything that could indicate that we might be having a problem. And I don't know if it's specifically a problem, but certainly there's some odd stuff going on. So if you come in right here at the rear with the sock adapter, we do have a good portion of gouged metal. It is getting worse over time. It doesn't seem to be anything that's going to affect form or function. And the thing that's hitting it is the back of the recoil spring right here. You can see where it's kind of rubbed itself. Now this is a softer metal, so it's the portion that's deforming. I don't know if it'll be an issue, but like I said, I'm going to kind of point it out. Now, for the rest of the bolt and the bolt carrier group, it's a little bit harder to show it with YouTube, guys. But that being said, all that stuff has worn in very, very beautifully. So we'll do our best to show what we can right here. So when I'm taking a look at this, I'm looking for any parts that are gouged, not looking right. But the bolt is looking wonderful. We do have dual ejectors, which is good to have. Piston is holding really well. No problems there. So I'm loosening up. I don't have any of the roll pins backing out. And all the wear looks pretty good overall, which for me is much more indicative of how the gun's going to be overall functioning. And so everything that I see seems to point to the fact that this rifle is going to be functional for a very long period of time, because the barrel has also held up pretty well and we haven't noticed any real degradation of accuracy. That is all excellent stuff. Now my hands are all dirty. Another thing I want to talk about is going to be the charging handle right here. I really do like the positioning of the charging handle because it is switchable. It is ambidextrous. So that's one thing we can give to them. And it's very easy to change, just like on the first Jackal. That is excellent. I like the ability to have it on the left-hand side because I like being able to kind of fix all my problems with my charging handle on the left side. The FAL had it. That was perfect. The FAL did everything correct. So I like that quite a bit. So we've done a lot of shooting at this point. Let's go ahead. Let's get the table out. So we do best. Autistic breakdown of the 308 Jackal. So we've done a lot of shooting. Let's do a lot of talking as we get into autistic detail on the PSA Jackal right here. So let's do our full disclosures as we always do. Obviously, AAC sponsors me. AAC is a subsidiary of PSA. We have done many PSA reviews. We've said both good and bad things about them. We have no problem throwing our punches. We don't pull punches when it comes to reviews. In fact, I'm always a little bit more harsh on PSA and H&R products simply because of that tie via the ammo sponsorship. So we want to be very clear about that, but our kind of MO has always been to make sure to help you guys make good financial choices on what firearms you're buying, because I remember when I was a poor college student, had no money, and each purchase that I made was agonizing amount of research. So let's go ahead, let's get into it. So the PSA Jackal is a 308 battle rifle. It is long stroke gas piston operated, much like the AK, and it is firing the 308, runs off of your typical SR25 pattern magazines, and has maybe a lot going for it. It comes in at around $1,500 street price, maybe a little bit lower after the review, not because we have anything bad to say about it, but rather as more come out, the price will probably drop just a teeny bit more. So when it comes to a battle rifle for around $1,500, the kind of main competition you run into is like the CMMG Descent, the Arrow M5, but like as far as like a rugged battle rifle, there isn't a whole lot that it can really compete against that are within its price category, because a lot of people make the comparison to like the Scar H, and the Scar H is a phenomenal battle rifle. However, the Scar H is $3,000+. So how does this compare to that $1,500 mark? Let's get into it. So when we're starting off with this, we should start at the tip, just like the Navy loves. And one thing that we have to say is it does come with Chemo muzzle device. They like their Chemo muzzle devices. I'm not a huge fan of them personally, so we got that little guy right off. It is pin and welded. We're in FFL SOT, and it was really easy to get that muzzle device off. So swapping the muzzle device is not really hard at all. We have a cat muzzle device on there because we are running one of the cat suppressors, just a low back pressure can, and we'll kind of talk about that. So muzzle device, whatever you may want. Chemo one is absolutely fine. Now, moving back to the gas system, I do want to talk about this for just a moment. So the gas system is adjustable right here. So we'll show you some videos of that right there. There are 8 positions and anywhere from nearly close off all the way to letting a bunch of gas through. I do like that it is adjustable. I don't think it's the easiest method of doing it. I know it's meant to get a bullet, but it's been a little stiff. I generally like to have like a screwdriver option where I can put in like a flathead and twist it from like a multi-tool. It's a little bit difficult to access from the front, from the sides, it's fine. This is me nitpicking. I'm going to be doing this the entire time because I do think this could be a little bit easier to actuate and to kind of get it to where you want it. That being said, it was very easy to get this gun tuned with the cat suppressor. It was no problem at all. And from talking to other individuals who are also running concurrent reviews, the consensus has been that the ability to adjust the gas is very, very welcome. I haven't noticed a whole lot of gas blowback in terms of it spattering all over my clothing. It's been a real pleasure to shoot, to be honest. And that kind of brings us to something I didn't want to get into so quickly, but we do have to talk about the recoil impulse off this gun. So that really matters to me because when I'm shooting, especially a battle rifle, I need to be able to do quick follow-up shots. I need something compact, but it's still in 308, you know, like our good old Scar right here. And so it kind of fills a weird niche because of that. Now, with the JAKL, it is very smooth to fire. The recoil impulse is pretty, even when it's at the highest gas setting, like completely overgassed, it doesn't feel that bad at all. And it does feel very Scar-like, which is very much so a compliment. It's very smooth. The return onto target is very quick. In the video, we're shooting it quite quickly. And when you're shooting at distance, certainly it's easy to keep on target. Now, this is a tad heavier than the Scar H, and I'm not really one to get too much into the weight of a particular rifle, other than to say that you definitely do feel the difference between the Scar and the JAKL. The JAKL is a good amount heavier, despite being a newer rifle, and this is, again, the price point difference, right? You are paying only $1,500 versus nearly $3,000+. So I can accept that without kind of batting an eye too much. Now, when it comes to the barrel right here, we do have a 14.5-inch barrel. A lot of people have questioned that barrel length. On a battle rifle, it makes perfect sense to me. I have no qualms about that whatsoever. The barrel is 4150. This is a pretty common barrel steel. I would have wanted like a cold hammer forged barrel when it comes to a battle rifle, something like the Scar has or any other 308 battle rifle or anything like that. The 4150 just isn't my favorite when it comes to a battle rifle. That being said, I understand the price points we're working with, that it does make a lot more sense. Now, when it comes to the barrel as well, we have to talk about accuracy because the barrel is kind of the heart of the accuracy of the weapon along with the bolt for that lockup. Now, when it comes to it, it seems to be fairly good when it comes to the accuracy department. I know I was kind of going pretty hard on it when we were testing it out down there, but that being said, a $1,500 battle rifle achieving about 2 MOA or less is quite good. The Scar can do better, but again, you're looking at that increased price point. The Scar is closer to 1 MOA, maybe a smidge above or a smidge below, but you have to give it to the JAKL for coming in at such a low price that it's still able to deliver pretty acceptable accuracy within that kind of battle rifle category. Now, I've seen other reviews, and I've seen this brought up quite a bit, that there's like a bunch of weird stuff with the Jackals, like misspec rails and stuff. That's not something that I've seen, or I've had any trouble with mounting various different optics to it, or having any trouble with my laser devices holding zero or anything like that. That's all been pretty good to go as far as what we've seen on our side. And one thing that you do have to say about this as well, as you can see, we do have a monolithic system going completely over the top right here. The bottom rail is bolted into place. Kind of gives it that industrial look with all the screws all over. A lot of people were like, oh, it's a screw gun. Not as bad, but the Scar is also, quote unquote, a screw gun. Quite a few screws in it as well. Again, you're coming in at a low price, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But whether it be a PEC, MAL, any of our laser devices have held zero. Same with our optics. It's been pretty good. Now, there's been a lot of talk with the Scar about destroying optics. This isn't something that we've particularly seen with military-grade optics, or especially optics that have come out post-2015. We haven't noticed any issues with optics on this particular rifle, and at this point, we are at about 2,500 rounds on this gun. So we have good wear. We've had a lot of rounds on different optics at this point with zero problems. So we do have to say that. Now, when it comes to our rail right here, we do have QD slots on either side up here, as well as back here for your sling mounting. As we know, the only true position for your sling is at the front, whether you be left or right-handed, that's up to you. M-LOK, not a whole lot to write home about. You have your mounting points for whatever you might need. No issues there. The rail is fairly lightweight for what it is, so I do like that. Moving down from there, when we go over to the magazines, I do like that they use an SR25 pattern, whether it be these night tournament mags or whether it be P-mags. Those mags will run absolutely fine. We haven't really had any issues with any of those magazines running, or more importantly, with the rifle doing weird things like chewing up the bottom of the PMag or anything like that. It's been boringly reliable, really. Any issues that we ran into with the Jackal 308 primarily came from adjusting the gas and kind of getting it dialed in while we were getting the suppressor mounted. From there, we're going to talk about controls a little bit. Controls are literally bare bones. You have right side mag release, you have bolt hold and bolt release right here on the left-hand side, and you have your safety. The safety is also just non-ambidextrous, so they didn't really do a whole lot of work there. And again, they do note that with the pattern of the lower, make sure that you're using theirs or the adapter specific to theirs. Understandable, no problems there. Moving to the trigger, we are just using the stock factory triggers. I found that the Jackal triggers are actually pretty good. Let's see what we got right here. It feels pretty mil-spec. Put it in the fire, put your finger right over mine, ghost in it. We have no take-up. We have about 4-pound let-off. It feels kind of like the Schmidt trigger, to be honest. I wonder if they have been making these triggers for them. Feels good, to be honest. I have no problems with the trigger. The trigger is quick to run, and I've been pretty pleased with it. Moving from there, we obviously have our brass deflector. We have our grip. Put in whatever AR grip you want. And that brings us to the stock. So we did run into some weird issues with the stock. The kind of whole gun feels a little bit flimsy, but my kind of problem with this has been, if you look on the bottom, kind of where the stock kind of mates up to the upper receiver, there's a lot of gaps right there. I worry about that in terms of a sling or kit and getting that caught up. That's not my favorite, to be honest. And more importantly, we had this guy loosen up on us a ton. So what it ended up being, as near as I could tell, was they had so much packing grease on this thing that it seems to have worked its way into it. Whatever oil they used near the stock got into that screw, the main screw, and no matter how much we tightened that thing down, it would loosen up like after 100 rounds and start falling apart. So that was frustrating. So I ended up degreasing those threads, degreasing the bolt, putting a little bit of blue Loctite, torquing it down, and it's been fine since then. I would check all the screws as well. So I marked all the screws during the original kind of early portion of the review, but they ended up not backing off. We ended up painting over it as well, and that was a good kind of tell to see if any of the screws are backing out or anything like that. We didn't have any problems there. So really, kind of the main issues that we ran into are primarily with the stock. We do have the ACR like stock here. They also have the B&T stock, but the problem wasn't the stock itself. It was actually the adapter like we talked about. Now, beyond the stock, my kind of nitpick is going to be with the accuracy. I wish it was a little bit better than 2 MOA on a good day. I think that's doable at a $1,500 price point. Kind of the overall thing I want to say about the Jackal is it does feel good, but I find that at the kind of $1,500 mark, you kind of end up getting a lot of battle rifles that aren't quite ready. So you're kind of priced out of that like battle ready battle rifle category. So when you get into like $3,000 plus, okay, we get battle rifles that are ready, they're good to go. Then at this 1,500, I don't know if I would trust my life to the Jackal. There's kind of enough weird little odd issues that kind of go on as we're using it from the stock to otherwise, that it's not something that I would want to bet my life on. And I know that's kind of a harder, kind of more abstract idea to talk about, but the fact of the matter is, the 308 version does not have a whole lot of time on it, and I'm not going to lean on that to say that's the reason why I'm not selecting it as something I would trust my life to, but rather because I think overall, the quality of the parts does not equal something that I can count my life on. Now, as far as being a fun gun to shoot, 100%, and I think it's good for most situations, it's just not there in terms of betting your life on it. For $1,500, you can get a very good AR. You can get a Geisley upper and like a, PSA lower, H&R lower, arrow lower, and you have yourself a really, really good rifle in 5.56. Moving up to 308, you just don't get that same deal that you get at $1,500. You just gotta spend the more money to get a battle rifle that is ready. So that is kind of the bummer overall. That being said, I have really had a lot of fun shooting this. I do think it is a fun gun. This would definitely be in my category of hobby guns. Now, I might have to eat crow at some point, but if it ends up being proven over years and years of time and being used in combat that this is a completely stout and, reliable combat rifle, and I just didn't have enough time on it during this initial review, sure, I'll eat my words, but again, when it comes to a rifle being proven in combat, it either has to be tested pretty thoroughly at Crane or it has to really see it. And we just haven't seen that from the Jackal. But what we have here is a fun gun. Just understand the limitations of what you're doing with the money that you have. Now, guys, here's the thing. You have this and you're super worried because I didn't give it the most glowing review known to mankind. Don't worry, because it is still a very fun gun. And if you had to count on it, you know what? It's probably going to work really damn well. It's probably going to put anybody into the ground that you need it to put into the ground. It's just, I am going to nitpick the hell out of anything PSA. I know the guys at PSA are like, no. So if you have this, train with it. I'll be terrified of you. It is a very capable rifle. There's just some caveats with it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We got nothing else for you guys. A final thing for you guys is going to be a little bit of life advice. Here's what I'm going to say. Time is your most valuable resource, and a lot of people are looking to have your time, whether it be the internet, whether it be movies, whether it be just wasteful activities. Make sure that you are choosing your time wisely, because it is one resource you will never get back. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We got nothing else for you.
He's coming at any time. I thought you were gonna say something. I'm sorry.
Nah. Yeah, that's really sick. Wow. Okay, Jeremy, can you
saw John get shot in the head?
Yeah.
Headshot! I just got blue tiger stripe, dude. Check it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day you could like that.